Hi guys, I realize it's been a while since I put up a YouTube video, so I start, you know, doing that again. Um, I decided because I can't sleep and because I haven't put up a video in a while, that I was just going to make a random, another list, like, all my most favorite DC movies ranked. These are basically like the old Batman, Superman films up till the now more or modern films. Um, so being like the worst or the lowest would be like 18 because there's 18 films in all. Besides Shazam, I don't have Shazam yet, so I can't really uh, rate it until I own it. But 18 being worst, number one being the best. Um, so yeah, here we go, I guess. I'm like 18 to be Superman 3 because no one even remembers Superman 3. I don't remember Superman 3, and I'm a superhero fan, and that's bad. You can't do that. Um, I think like the ending had something to do with some kind of computer trying to take over the world, and it was like I think they were trying to do the Brainiac storyline, and it just didn't work. And there's no. Then the next one would be Superman 4, or A Quest for Peace, I think. Yeah, it's A Quest for Peace. And this is like where Lex Luthor took a sample of Superman's hair and then like launched it to the sun using like a missile or whatever, and he kind of just created this Unabomber man that could like fight Superman, supposedly make him sick and kill him, and through radiation, and it was just weird, and it's not one of the best ones. But I remember watching it a little bit as a kid. Um, and the next one would be Superman Returns, which to me is more like the guy never throws a punch in the entire movie. It's just sad man flies around and deals with drama, and it just sucks. And number 15 would be Superman, and I realize a lot of these are like the bottom of Superman. It's not because I hate Superman; it's just the quality of film, and I just don't like the storyline or the plots or what they're doing with the characters. I love the characters, but I can't stand what they're doing in the films. And uh, basically the first Superman film, and I feel like this should be a little bit higher, but it gets beat out by all my other favorite ones that I've watched like over 100 times. 14 would be Suicide Squad, and I feel like this movie was just more of a letdown because they they promoted it to be more to have more Joker in it, and it could have had more Joker in it, and it just didn't, and it just really was a letdown in the sense that it didn't live up to what it was selling. Um, Plus, none of the characters had shown real fleshed out blacks backstories, and it was just Will Smith was there, and that was good. That's how I felt about that one. Um, there's going to be Batman and Robin, and I pretty much like that movie because it's fun and campy. It's a really fun and campy kind of film. It had like Bane, the big muscular one that couldn't talk at all, and then you had Poison Ivy who kind of just walked around and flirted with everybody. Um, I really didn't like the Batman nipples. Just no. Uh, George Clooney was an okay Bruce Wayne, but not a cool but not a good Batman. He just wasn't a great Batman. Uh, then you had Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, and that's probably the best part of the movie, just him and his ice puns. Number 12 would be Batman Forever, and literally what puts this movie so high on the list is basically Jim Carrey's acting as the Riddler. Otherwise, it would be lower, but because I love Jim Carrey and I think he's fucking hilarious, that's why the film's a little bit higher, because nobody remembers Val Kilmer as Batman. Um, and it's just, I think they could have done better with it. I think they tried to push it a little too far. They even had a Lee Harvey or something like that. The guy that played Two-Face. They had a really good actor in him. And the movie flopped. Number 11 is Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman's a really fun and good movie. But I'm not a big Wonder Woman fan. I don't know much about her story and everything. And basically, the best scene is her being in the trench. The trench scene is probably the best scene. It just, I don't know. It felt weird. I didn't like how weak they made her feel at first, and then they kind of just amped her up really fast. Number 10 would be Superman 2, the old Superman 2, because of the General Zod, Kneel Before Zod, and I really enjoyed that story, and Superman losing his powers and giving up his powers for love, and coming back to, get those powers again. And then obviously, if you're going to have Superman 2 there, you got to have above it, number 9 being Man of Steel, which is basically Superman 2, but rebooted, revamped. They actually showed a better Krypton. It felt more like an Avatar type feeling. General Zod was an amazing villain. Everybody was complaining about the collateral damage of destroying Metropolis or whatever, and I think it made sense because you got two superpowered human beings battling each other. Nowhere is safe. And above that, we got Batman Begins, and it's just a general Batman movie. It's the beginning of Batman, and I love the dark tone of it, and the Scarecrow was good, Ra's al Ghul was good. They had a lot of good actors, and plus it was the first outing for Bale Batman. So you gotta have that kind of high, and I don't know, it's like generally like Batman Begins above all those other movies. And then number 7 would be Justice League, and it could be higher, but it's lower because the characters felt too rushed. They didn't take their time like the MCU did with their movies, like that kind of thing. And I felt like they made Batman kind of a wuss in that. I mean, he was always using his, gadgets or Batmobile as there should have been. Number 6 is Batman Returns, and that's the Tim Burton movie with Penguin and Catwoman. And I literally love the Gothic 5 of that film, and I watched it when I was young, and I couldn't stop watching it, and I just love it. There's like a neon sign that says hello there, and then she like whips it and turns it into hell here, and it's just, Catwoman's perfect. The Penguin was just like gross, but it made me feel bad for him, and then he's like, oh wait, no, you're just straight up evil, dude. And then you got the Rex company millionaire that is just real evil, and then it's so many. You got Michael Keaton, and that dude just does so well. Michael Keaton does great Batman. Then above that, we got 5 Batman v Superman, and me as a kid, I always was like, I can't wait till they make a Batman vs Superman movie. Oh my god! And they did it, and it worked. My only problem with it is they made Batman kind of stupid, and it's just really dumb things that Batman, as a detective, would have really been like, yo, that doesn't make sense. Why are we doing this? Like, the whole Batman and Superman fight shouldn't even happen in the first place. But it did for their plot reasons, and and then another great and amazing thing was when they had Doomsday show up at the end, and I was always thinking about that too. Like, when are they going to do a live action of the death of Superman? And then they did it they added that in Batman v Superman, and I was like, yo, that's awesome. And then number 4 is Dark Knight Rises. And I like this one more because the realisticness of it, and just Bane as a character really carries the entire thing. And then you got little nods and Easter eggs like Miranda Tate being Talia al Ghul and betraying Batman, and basically stabbing him. And then you got Anne Hathaway as Catwoman, which is really good choice there. It kind of wraps up the entire Dark Knight series or trilogy in a nice little kit, and it's a good ending movie. And even though it's long, and the football scene was awesome, I imagine how that guy felt running for that touchdown, turns around, and then all the entire football field is just collapsed behind him. Like, yeah, oh shit, everybody's dead. Like, yeah, I thought that was hilarious. And yeah, that's the Dark Knight Rises. Number 3, Aquaman. I remember seeing Aquaman in theaters, and I really loved Aquaman. Just Jason Momoa is freaking hilarious, and I was just like, there was a lot of times when I was watching the movie, and I was like, yo, that is just so me. And he's like the little water trinket or whatever. He's like, why didn't you just pee on it? Or like, redheads, you gotta love them. Like the little campy lines he throws out, and it's just hilarious. And is being able to talk to fish, and the last fight scene was like, it was kind of like a water war, and they're even fighting in the rain in the ocean, and then those creatures that came out and like jumped on the boat and was like attacking them. And then when he swims down, and then there's like 50 billion thousands of them. And then I heard they're going to make a spin-off too, where it's going to be a horror film kind of like that with those monsters. And I was like, yo, that sounds badass. But yeah, Aquaman's is really fun movie to watch. I loved the way they did the Black Manta character, and it's just and then the death of his dad and everything, and it's kind of it's just hardcore. I love it. I love Aquaman, and that's one of the things that probably saved Justice League too, was Aquaman and Justice League. And then at number 2, we have Tim Burton's Batman. Jack Nicholson's Joker is amazing. He's campy. He's hilarious. He's okay, not necessarily campy, but dark campy. Like, he kills a guy with like a freaking joy buzzer, and he's just like, I'm glad you're dead. Like, making hilarious jokes. Actually, and that's how I feel. I feel like the Joker should have a dark, sick, twisted sense of humor that everybody could laugh to. Because like every joke he make, I was laughing with him. Like, that's how I felt about it. And he was pretty much straight to the point too. Like, he was just like, well, what do you want from me? And it's just like, oh, my face in the $1 bill. And it's like, you're joking, right? And he's like, no, I'm fucking serious. Do I look like I'm joking? Like, and plus it was one of the few movies where it kind of sticks to the mainly accepted Joker origin, where he falls into the vat of acid and turns into the Joker. Plus, there's the whole Batman making him and him making Batman, and I really like that dynamic of it, to where those two characters can have that kind of relationship. Because I feel like a lot of times there's just no reason for why they're rivals and why they're fighting and why they do what they do. They just do it. And the Tim Burton Batman really fixes that problem really well. And then number 1, it's probably gonna be in the top of every freaking DC list. It's The Dark Knight. Heath Ledger Joker, really amazing, and I could talk about Heath Ledger's Joker for hours and hours and hours. But let's go talk about another character who I want to talk about some like side characters that people really don't pay attention to when it really comes to The Dark Knight. Magic, the guy that like tried to sick his little goon on the Joker, that was Michael J. White, who played Spawn in the 1998 Spawn film. and I liked his little gangster and interpretation for that film. Rachel Dawes, kind of hot, kind of not hot. I didn't. I think she did a okay job, and I think it was kind of weird how they did that with the film too, and kind of torn her between Harvey and Batman. And I think Two-Face was a great villain in that aspect too, as he's more of a revenge character that, like, this is what fate gave him. So he's gonna rely on fate to, do all the other things. And just the level of psychoticness that he has. And I like that they made Jim Gordon the main target of Two-Face, to him and his family, through the the trio. They really portray the Two-Face backstory very well, in the sense that Batman, Jim Gordon, and Harvey all teamed up to take on the underworld of Gotham, and then something happens along the lines where he gets his face burned half, and then they added more depth to it by making it where Rachel dies, and making it more of a revenge story for him in that sense. To where in Batman Forever, he gets some acid poured on his face, and is like, it's just more random and for trying to snitch out to call out Falcone, and then you see Batman just jump out of the crowd, and it's just like it don't work. So I feel like the way they handled Two-Face in The Dark Knight was very good, and I feel like he's a very overlooked character in that sense. Christian Bale's Batman's amazing. Oh, you can't talk about Batman v Superman without the Batman warehouse scene. I forgot about that. Backtrack to Batman v Superman, having the whole warehouse scene of Batman just straight up kicking ass and stuff. Man, that had me standing up in a theater going like, then that's a fucking Batman. Just straight on whooping ass. If only they made him a little bit smarter. I mean, just saying. But yeah, that was my ranking of all the DC movies. Number 1 being The Dark Knight, number 2 being Batman, 3 Aquaman, 4 The Dark Knight Rises, 5 Batman v Superman, 6 Batman Returns, 7 Justice League, 8 Batman Begins, 9 The Man of Steel, 10 Superman 2, 11 Wonder Woman, 12 Batman Forever, 13 Batman and Robin, 14 Suicide Squad, 15 Superman, 16 Superman Returns, 17 Superman 4, or The Quest for Peace, and then 18 Superman 3. And yeah, you probably watch those movies in that order, and you probably understand why I feel the way I do. And yeah, I guess that's it. That is it. It's a good 18-minute video. I guess I'll see you guys later. Probably gonna put on a second video soon. Rating some more movies. I would rate the MCU movies, but I let my cousin borrow all of them because his wife hasn't seen any of the superhero movies and she needs to see them. So, yeah, that's why I let her borrow that. Well, see you guys later.